I'm at 720 Linden Avenue in Newport, Kentucky, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. What we're looking for here is, any structural issues, possibly root intrusion, anything that may be of concern to the buyer. We are accessing this line from it's a PVC clean out, but it's a little over, about 3 to 4 feet off the ground of a cast iron stack. So it's cast iron about halfway up and then goes to PVC where the clean out is. So I expect to find, based off the age of this house, I expect to find clay under the floor and out, all the way to the main. We could find some cast iron under the floor though. But as you can see, this is the basement. It's the center right of the basement. There is the stack. As you can see, it starts out cast iron, and we are up about maybe 4 feet off the ground. Goes to PVC. That's where we're going to be accessing. Cast iron. Let's see, it gets to the bottom here. Figure out what that is right there. Looks like it's like a drop-in. What I believe that is from the stationary tub right next to the stack. So we'll just run a little tiny bit of water here. Make sure that's what that is. There it is. So that actually looks like maybe some lead line that drops into there. It's just a drainage line though. Then as soon as we get to the bottom, it turns to clay in the main line. We are heading out towards the main. So clay is pretty common for the age of this house. When I get back, I'm gonna. Looks like there's a couple pieces that could be some construction debris, some drywall mud, stuff like that, from this house being redone. It does look like the house has been redone. It broke loose, as soon as I hit it, and that stuff off to the left looks soft. And we will run some water when I pull back, just to check that. So not a concern. It's just that white layer along there. It's probably what that is. It's making a right-hand turn. Debris there where there's a line coming in from the left. Probably could be the floor drain. It could be. It's just another connection. Yes. It's just some spider webs there. Just looks a little funky. Looks like that may be it. There was a top connection for a second, but it's just some spider webs. So just a reference, that lens is only about a ½ inch off the bottom of the pipe. And this pipe is a 6-inch diameter pipe, so a little bit of water, especially if it's not even covering the lens, is not much. It's really nothing to be concerned about. It's probably been there since this was built, and you can see there's a little bit of that drywall mud and stuff there that probably, because the plumbing hasn't been used a whole lot, that just needs to be flushed out. And you can see I'm just knocking it out of the way with the camera. So like I said, we'll try to run some water, flush a little bit of that out, so we can get a better idea. There's some other spider webs. So with the water sitting in it, that's just meaning that the line is flat. It's not uncommon, like I said. It's very, very little water. Minimum pitch on a sewer line is about 1/8 of an inch per foot, so it doesn't have to be much as long as that water went downhill. I haven't seen a whole lot of buildup with anything. This looks like this could be some dried out, maybe some dried out roots or something. I'm talking about the stuff that's on the top of the pipe, not the stuff that's laying in the bottom. That looks like more construction debris and stuff. So, like I said, we'll try to run some water, see if we can break up some of this stuff. Hopefully it clears out. I mean, structurally, the pipe looks really good so far. I mean, it's very much at this point, I would just recommend that it be flushed out. See, there's a little bit more, it's just discoloration, I think. It's kind of weird because it could be packing coming through. There's mineral deposits where the groundwater's gotten through. It's not affecting the flow whatsoever. It's all on the top of the pipe of these connections. It actually looks like bugs. Build up of bugs, like not really sure. I don't know how to identify that, but it does look like some sort of bug nest or something with the little pinholes in it. Have to get another opinion and see if somebody else knows what that is. Because I don't believe it's, I mean, it doesn't look structural. It's not really at the connection. It just looks like buildup on the side, like packing. I mean, it could be some really old roots that just died off because it looks dried out. But again, we are gonna flow some water down this thing. We'll see how well we can see as we pull back. How much of that we can get rid of. I mean, structurally, again, this line looks really good. So we've got a little plug right there on the top of that pipe. Like an old manhole or something. And it looks like we're diving. If you look in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see that the degree of angle that the camera is sitting. So I think this is diving to get down to the main. We do have a little bit of I think we're dropping right into a vertical connection into the very top of the main. And there we are. We dropped right into it. So we made it all the way to the main, about 90 feet. So now we're sitting, like if you watch that, as I drop in, you'll see that it goes down to, about 84 degrees, which means I'm almost sitting completely vertical. Come back horizontal. So we have made it all the way to the main. This goes out to the front. But again, the line looked really good structurally. I'm going to stop once we get a little bit higher in the line. I'm going to run some water. I'm going to pause the video so that there's not just a bunch of, dead video with water running by. Because I'm going to let it run for a few minutes. There's that plug. I'm also going to see if I can get that It looks like a plug where it used to be an old connection. I think that's an old lamp hole based off of how the connection was made. There's no mud coming in or anything. Just looks like an old connection, probably made out in the street. The lamp hole was like a manhole, just smaller, where they could get in and inspect the line. Could have been an old shared connection also, but it was plugged and there was nothing getting into that plug, so not a concern. See, that's what I'm thinking. I've been seeing, it looks like a roach, and so I'm thinking that those things on the side there may be some, if this house has been sitting empty for a long period of time, those things could be nests. And so I'm also going to pause the video and I'm going to see if the home inspector recognizes this, see if he knows what this is. So again, I'm going to pause the video, I'm going to run some water, but I'm going to get him to come down and witness this first just to see if we can see what this is. Okay, we're going to continue pulling back. I'm going to try to get a look at a couple more of these to see what they are, because they don't look like, they're not at connections, and so I think that may be what it is, just a, or it could be another type of bug if this house sat empty for a while and this sewer line wasn't used, because it looks like build up. It doesn't look like it's coming through the pipe. It looks like it's been attached to the line and it's all out of the flow line, and you can see the whole connection there. There's not pieces missing or anything. So I'm going to pull back to another connection where we've seen those and see if it's some sort of like ground. There's one right there on the right. Wish you could turn the camera and look at him directly. That does look like it. Yeah, so we've referenced some pictures on Google on a few websites, and it does look like that's what those are. It's just build up, possibly like water bugs from living in the sewer. This was probably a dry spot if the house sat empty. That's why they're not in the flow line also. But that's good news, being that there's no structural issues there. Just wanted to be able to identify that, because there are no structural issues with the pipe. But again, I'm going to pause the video here when we get to a certain spot, and I'm going to run some water. Because see, this was the one that was probably the most obvious when I was coming down the pipe. But I'm going to pause the video, run some water for a while, just try to flush out the line a little bit. Okay, we would run some water for a couple minutes. I'm going to go ahead and pull back. We'll watch as we go. And if it gets to the point where the water has risen enough to where I can't see anything, I will, we'll have to stop and let the water recede. I'll turn the water back off. That loose wherever it was, a little leak or something. A little bit. Obviously that's just built up because the water's flowing through there, but kind of look for those spots. Pushing back through here to see if there's anything that I can break loose, if there's something in there. Small belly. It's about 35 feet. what that was. None of these are any concern. Like I said, this is while the water's flowing, so going underneath the water for a minute isn't pretty normal. There, so the water's on the outside edge there. I'm already vertical. So I'm going to go back in there. I'm going to turn the water off, let it settle. We'll let it drain down here, and then we'll go back out to about 35, 40 feet just to double check those spots. See how that water is white? I believe that's what we're dealing with. There's just some buildup from the construction debris that's been run down the line. Some, drywall mud, possibly some, looks like drywall mud, the white spot, because it'll, keep it wet for long enough and it will break up and go on down the line. If it was solid chunks, that would be more like mortar where they did some tile. But that usually builds up pretty thick and can be like it comes off in chunks. Like you can see I'm slowly wearing a little bit in this, which means it's soft. So, after a lot of use, this should just, disintegrate and fall out. But it's, you can see I'm wearing a little channel in it along with the water. Just to know that it's not a major concern, but you might want to have it flushed out if there is any, if you are concerned about it, you could have this thing flushed out or jetted just to get rid of the debris. Because see where that looks like a chunk? That is probably, it did move, but that would be more like mortar or normal tile in the bathrooms, where it will stick together underneath the, even when it's underwater. That stuff's designed, there's different grades of it, but stuff is also designed to harden while wet. So, if you wanted to be safe, you could have this thing jetted and try to get rid of that stuff and just flush it out into the main. But I think the majority of this stuff will, come loose as soon as, somebody takes occupancy, and, does laundry, stuff like that. There's going to be large amounts of water, laundry and showers and stuff where it'll help flow the stuff out. I don't think it's going to catch anything as it is. I always recommend that nobody use any kind of wet wipes or anything anyway, because, yeah, see, this is another spot where there's some stuff that could have come down a floor drain, because it just looks like stuff off the floor. They'll probably clean the floor also. But I don't see any issues structurally. The line looked great. Like we mentioned before, there's spots that had looked like some roach den looking, things is kind of what we found by trying to compare them. They're not structural at all. They're just where some bugs got in there and a dry line sat empty for so long and set up shop. So not unusual to find roaches in the sewer mains, especially ones this old. So, or water bugs. So yeah, just if there is any concern about this, don't use wet wipes. Just use toilet paper. I tell people even with brand new sewer lines to do that, just because it's those things do not break down like they tell you they do. They say flushable, but they are not. They will not break down like toilet paper. And if you ever have any questions, just run both of them underneath your sink for a minute and check to see which one disintegrates and which one doesn't change at all. And that's what will happen if they get stuck in your pipe. One of them will break down and go on down. The other one will hang on and get a clog. So, we are all the way back out of the clean out. Again, I didn't find any issues structurally. I will make note that there is some construction debris. I think that'll make its way out with normal use once somebody gets in here and starts using the showers and the laundry and stuff like that. That should flush lines out. Running one sink, that's not much water. May even when the home inspector does his fixture tests and runs all the water, that would also help flush it out and get the water level up a little higher in the line. They just can't do that with my camera in there because the pipe would be open on the side as it comes down into the basement. So again, no structural issues. Just a couple small notes about flushing the lines and the what we recognized as little bug dens. And so that will end the inspection at 720 Linden Avenue in Newport, Kentucky.